Now to today's developments in the Shawnee Krall murder trial in Dickinson. Krall is accused of murdering his roommate Alice Krall in Minot in 2020. A Ward County judge denying the defense's motion for a mistrial. The fifth motion for a mistrial. Defense attorney Stormy Vickers saying it's becoming impossible for his client to get a fair trial. Vickers made the fourth motion yesterday after he says a state witness improperly referred to Krall as a victim. The state says there's never been a restriction on calling her that, and the jury is savvy enough to know she is the victim in a murder trial. Judge Stacey Lauser once again warning prosecutors they were crossing the line. Now, this fifth motion came this afternoon after the state referred to Krall's arrest. Vickers says they are barred from talking about the arrest because it came from the suppressed evidence. The defense will be presenting its case tomorrow, followed by closing arguments.